Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me and allowing me to continue to be your daily advocate. If you're new here or you're not subscribed for any reason, please do me a huge favor and hit the subscribe button. Thank you to all of you who have been watching and following me for so long. It truly means a lot, and I'm glad that I can be this person.
The Cryptic Poet here posting this. Lugano, Switzerland will make Bitcoin legal tender. They are the next in the list to do so, guys, alongside El Salvador, and I think Mexico is also looking into it. The Swiss city of Lugano to make Bitcoin and Tether de facto legal tender. So they are aiming to become Europe's Bitcoin capital. Lugano, Switzerland has formed a partnership with stablecoin issuer Tether to establish Bitcoin, Tether and Lugano's own LVGA points token as essentially legal tender in the city. The move goes far beyond the actions of a number of other Swiss localities that for some time have been accepting crypto for tax payments. And so this is somewhat similar to El Salvador, as they're mentioning here. Lugano, in addition to allowing crypto for taxes, is aiming to have all of its businesses seamlessly use crypto for everyday transactions. And in El Salvador, only Bitcoin qualifies. So it looks like they are taking it one step further, looking to incorporate many different cryptocurrencies eventually. But guys, this is now a European city to make Bitcoin and Tether legal tender in that particular Swiss city. And this is as we're seeing Bitcoin hit 41,500 thereabouts. This coming from Steve at DecodeJar here on Twitter. So as you guys can see here, we have hit that $41,500 mark several times here on Bitcoin. At some points it has been resistance. At some points it has been support. And so, now we're here and we're seeing it holding as support. So that's something we should be paying attention to. Steve here saying, I'm so bored of this level though, looking forward to the day when we leave it behind for good. So Bitcoin chart up here right now, we're trading at about $41,700. We have just been vacillating over the last month or so. Bitcoin trading sideways from that macro perspective. Even within the last year, we've been trading pretty much sideways for Bitcoin. So we have seen that level hit quite frequently over the last 12 months. We also have this guy's from Benjamin Cowan. I mean, at least we are trying to hold 42,000 or 41,500 as a Bitcoin level of resistance or support. He goes on to say, as support, not currently holding it as resistance, so we have that going for us, which is nice. That's the other thing we should be keeping in mind, guys. We are on the other side of this. We are holding this as support right now. And so let me just take that off. Let me throw a horizontal line in here. And so, holding this level as resistance, obviously not as great, because then we are to expect the trend to go further down. So holding it as a support level, obviously better. And that is exactly where we are right now, right in here, holding 41.5 or 42,000 as support. So that's good news. XRP holding up. We're seeing XRP trading right now at 74 cents. Still formulating what is looking like a bullish pennant pattern. So, as soon as we get that positive news, it could be off to the races for XRP and many other altcoins in the space. Bitcoin is the one to be eyeing right now, getting above that level, $41,500, $42,000, a key level of support and resistance for Bitcoin. There's also this guy's from Miles J Creative. Note the 20 SMA on the monthly. We have bounced from it with February's candle, similar to 2013. In the past, when crossed for the bear market, note there is no monthly green candle bounce. Resumption to the upside then looks probable. And so here's what we're taking a look at, the 20 simple moving average. In 2013, we bounced off of it, moved to the upside. And, every time you can see we've bounced above it, we have moved to the upside. So it is looking promising for Bitcoin. Also, considering the reaccumulation that we have seen over the last year, it looks like we are in a good space. I saw this, guys, and I thought I'd share it with you. I think this is great. And, for us XRP hodlers, us XRP entrepreneurs, those of us who run small businesses, I can see this becoming more and more frequent as the months and years go on. This coming from Crypto Cabbie, my new sign in my taxi. Accepting XRP via the Sum wallet is just as fast as taking credit card payments. Let's see how it goes this time. And so this from Crypto Cabbie, obviously he is a cab driver and he is accepting XRP through the Sum wallet. So if you happen to take a cab and you are in the UK and you do see this sign, he's one of us. Wanted to thank Crypto Cabbie for posting this. And yeah, how he is also adding to XRP utility on the XRPL, even if it's just in a small way. Every single time somebody transfers XRP, every time somebody uses it for payments or something else, this adds more value to XRP because it's more value essentially over the XRPL. And Ripple-enabled companies also adding that value, partnering with other companies to extend that XRPL utility. This coming from the Crypto Poet. Ripple partner Airwallex teams up with Plum to power its stock investing feature. So this is the other thing, we started with cross-border payments. Now we're seeing more companies add more types of services, financial services in a lot of cases. And so this is another way we're going to see XRPL utility expand. This specifically with Ripple partner Airwallex. They are a global fintech platform. And today they announced their partnership with leading investment app Plum to support its cross-border payments and FX needs. Airwallex was chosen as Plum's global payments and FX partner to support the launch of Plum's new stock investing feature that will allow for its customers to trade in 500 plus US stocks across a range of large tech brands and options, including major Fortune 500 businesses. With the Airwallex integration, Plum can collect, hold, and convert funds in multiple currencies and more quickly bring to market new features to customers on their investing journey. So, more news there. We've been hearing a lot from Airwallex over the last several months. Plum, just the latest company that they have integrated with to offer this new stock investing feature. And so, moving again away from cross-border payments, although in this article they do say that they are helping them support their cross-border payments and FX needs specifically. But this app specifically does deal with stock investing. So another use case for the XRPL. And Cryptic Poet here also just bringing this up from 2017 just to demonstrate that Airwallex has been a RippleNet partner since then. So great news there. Wanted to thank him for posting that. And it looks like the XRP community is making headway into Congress. This from John Deaton. I wanted to extend my sincere gratitude to Congressman Warren Davidson for taking the time to discuss our request for an investigation into the huge conflicts of interest and gross appearances of impropriety related to the decision to give Ethereum a free pass and attack XRP hodlers. So boom, it looks as though the XRP community is now on Congressman Warren Davidson's radar. Congressman Davidson expressed real concern for XRP hodlers, including the more than 600 in Ohio that have joined the amicus in the case. Congressman Davidson understands this space and the issues better than most. We need more like him in Congress. So John Deaton reaching out exclusively to Warren Davidson, it seems, and it looks as though maybe we can get a probe, maybe we can get some more investigation into the free pass that the SEC has given to Ethereum. Just yesterday I did a video, and I'll link it up here if you guys didn't catch it. In that video I did talk briefly about how there's now this independent audit that is going to be happening at JP Morgan, because apparently they have been tied into the Ethereum SEC situation. So the story goes as such, and I don't have the details, but just off the top of my head, apparently they had already been working on, or rather were very, very involved in technology over at Consensus. So they had a vested interest in Ethereum succeeding as well. A very interesting development in this story, to say the least. Anyway, I'm gonna move on, guys. Jeremy Hogan tweeting out Coining 203's tweet here. And so Brad Garlinghouse did recently make an appearance on Fox Business. A lot of great nuggets of information in this clip. I'm gonna go over some of it. Here, you know what? I'll just start by playing the clip. Listen to this.
Inappropriate activity.
Listen, it's the same with the US dollar. Appropriate activity, inappropriate activity. Joining us now on the set, CEO of leading enterprise blockchain company Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse. Yes, of course, Ripple, related to XRP. Brad would know a thing or two about this, along with Charlie Gasparino.
I know nothing. He knows everything.
I know nothing. What do you make of what Powell said? He kind of gave it to both sides.
What did he say, though? Did he say anything?
It's not entirely clear. By the way, I do want to start by just saying that I and the team at Ripple feel so strongly about standing with the people of Ukraine, and I just want to put that out there.
Sure.
But my comment as I listen to some of the things I hear out of Washington is just I fear that there's a lack of knowledge. There's a lack of information about how crypto really works. And I think it does a disservice to responsible actors like Ripple, who are working with governments, with sanctions. Everything that is enforced from a sanction point of view through fiat currency, anything that Ripple does is enforced in the exact same way. So there's no different level playing field. And I think in some ways I heard Senator Warren saying things yesterday that felt like it's holding crypto to a different standard and expecting, for example, a blanket ban of all crypto in some of these countries in a way that, like, well, you can still use PayPal, you can still use these, some of these other things, and I don't think we should treat them differently.
Ripple is like Swift, isn't it?
Yes, I mean, Ripple's starting point, kind of our first use case for the technology, the blockchain technology, right, and the digital asset XRP was to solve that cross-border payments problem.
Right.
Swift is quite antiquated, kind of designed 50 years ago. It's slow, it's expensive, but it is a choke point that the governments use to enforce sanctions. My point is, nothing that Ripple is doing circumvents any of that.
So you're following the sanctions exactly? Like, for example, it's like, what, 8 banks, but a couple can still trade through it theoretically?
Correct. The sanctions are applied through what I'll call the choke points, the on-ramps and off-ramps. That's true for SWIFT, that's true for Ripple. Regardless of what I'll call just the plumbing of how things are moving, the choke points are the endpoints. So I think, when I step back and look at this, I think there is a lack of knowledge. I think people need to understand that crypto isn't this kind of black box. It's kind of back from when it was known as Silk Road. The industry has come a long way.
So an oligarch, or let's just say Vladimir Putin, couldn't finance tanks through Bitcoin.
Look, one of the things that people don't realize is there's just not enough liquidity.
Yeah.
Russia used to trade pre-sanctions $50 billion of cross-border kind of transactions per day. Crypto does not have anywhere near that. So,
Right.
look, in the same way that somebody could be taking wheelbarrows of rubles or the Ukrainian currency across to Poland and things, like, there are ways you could do that, but it's really not significantly dissimilar.
Why are they so obsessed with it? It's like so weird.
I think it's a kind of clickbait. It's a hot item. I think people, it adds a relevance and excitement around some of these things, but I think people don't understand.
Well, we had spoken.
So I'm going to stop it there for a second. Brad Garlinghouse mentioning a lot of interesting things here relating to the sanctions, for example. There has been criticism, I'm sure, through officials at government, saying, well, Russia can get through the sanctions by utilizing cryptocurrency. And of course, Ripple is going to be at the center of this, considering they utilize a cryptocurrency to facilitate cross-border transactions. And Brad Garlinghouse has to nip that in the bud right away. And, he is essentially stating, okay, look, there are the choke points that the government can turn off, the endpoints, the on and off ramps to convert cryptocurrency to dollars, and that's essentially what's most important when we talk about these sanctions. RippleNet essentially works exactly like the SWIFT system, and so, if they're going to choke off, in this case, in this example, Russia's on and off ramps for money, they can do the same thing with RippleNet if they so choose to. Now, that is something different than transferring XRP through the XRPL. If I wanted to send, 50 XRP to Crypto Cavi, who is, let's say, taking me from point A to point B, well, I can take my Sum wallet or my whatever wallet and send him XRP directly. I do not have to go through an intermediary, which is kind of what Brad Garlinghouse is talking about, the RippleNet, to source liquidity for larger payments. That is something completely different than me sending somebody else XRP directly. So he does mention this. He doesn't want to confuse the lawmakers of the world, the regulators of the world, and get back into that whole stereotype, I guess, that cryptocurrency is created for criminals. It's going to foster money laundering or to, subvert sanctions. So I thought that was an interesting talking point. I do think, considering I've been in this space for a while, I do think it's getting quite old now. But listen to this. He goes on talking to Liz Klayman. Listen to this.
Spoken to Gary Gensler of the Securities and Exchange Commission. I know you saw that interview because we were emailing afterward about it, but he specifically tried to say that he wants to very much focus on what's a security and what is an actual token, a cryptocurrency. I feel like if that's the case and he's holding you to that standard, at some point he's going to have to go after Ether as well, because Ether and Ethereum are those two very similar paths, just like XRP and Ripple, are they not?
Look, I think that's absolutely true. I don't want to comment on what they should or shouldn't do. I think as it relates to Ethereum, my view is it's very clear Ethereum's a currency. It's very clear XRP is a currency, and that the SEC. He was interviewed yesterday. Gary Gensler was, or maybe it was even this morning, and commented that, hey, we're going to lose some cases. This is the definition of regulation by enforcement.
He was going to lose. You think he was saying he's going to lose your case?
I don't know what he was saying. but he did say, hey, we're going to lose some, and we're okay with that. That's the definition.
Where are you on the case? Let's get an update.
The quick update, on Monday was the last day of expert testimony, expert depositions, etc. And so the case continues to move forward. We're expecting some decisions from the court, sooner rather than later as it relates to a couple decisions before the court. But look, it's moved slowly. I think Gary Gensler has continued to kind of go with a narrative that crypto is the Wild West. It's not the Wild West. Are there bad actors? Yes, there's bad actors in all parts.
Bad actors in money laundering in U.S. dollars.
I found it fascinating from reading the documents for all the stuff they said about how bad it was that you did unregistered securities. They never say anything bad about your platform. Why is that? I mean, because it's
And
not
of course,
the
well, the irony there is, like, we were in the SEC's offices. I met with Chairman Clayton. I was meeting with commissioners. No one ever once said, hey, we think XRP is a security. And they'd look backwards and say, now we think it's all a security. That's a hard argument.
Please come back. Brad Garland.
All right, and the clip ends there. Brad Garlinghouse right at the end there saying, I was meeting with Chairman Clayton. I met with the SEC commissioners. No one ever said once that XRP is a security. And he also mentioned that recent interview with Gary Gensler that happened, I believe it was on the Jon Stewart show. And Cam's down here actually created this graphic with the quote, willing to litigate this agency, the SEC has to be willing to go into court and, take some losses from time to time. So Gary Gensler has actually gone on the record and said, it might be that we take some losses from time to time. Hassan Al-Azani also saying Gary Gensler tactically admits that the SEC has lost the case. Subsequently, he should expedite the final settlement process along with his resignation. And again, that same tweet from Cam's down here. And guys, this was the interview. Gary Gensler posted this. We need to make sure our markets work for all Americans. I spoke on the problem with Jon Stewart about how we can do just that. Watch the interview. And so Brad Garlinghouse, to his point, from this interview here, he says, look, you cannot rule by enforcement. The exact thing that Gary Gensler through the SEC is in fact doing. This is going to result in losing some cases, and Brad Garlinghouse picked up on that. And it sounds as though Charles Gasparino and Liz Klayman are in agreement, but he would not answer about the Ripple and XRP case. Although, it is assumed, considering this is the most high-profile case at this moment, that, it is likely that the SEC is losing this case. And I mean, we already kind of have the inside scoop, considering we have been following the case on Twitter through legal updates from James K. Filan and, Jeremy Hogan, John Deaton, always chiming in with their 2 cents with regards to the case as well. All the information is public. We have a good indication of how the judges feel now. So is this going to be one case that the SEC loses, considering Gary Gensler has already kind of admitted it? Also just wanted to bring this up from Tony Valentino. Now, we have not heard from Tony Valentino in a while, so it's a nice treat to see a tweet from him after a few years. Ripple and the SEC will take this all the way to the courts. We won't see a settlement for XRP to become the lifeblood of the whole world financial system. Only the highest designation will do it. The XRPL will be classed a systematically important protocol along with the escrow. And if you guys do not know Tony Valentino, he is an OG XRP hodler, spouting wisdom since probably 2018 or 2019. Johnny here, nah playa, Judge Netburn and Torres will save the SEC from embarrassment. So some opposing views. Black XRP Ninja down here saying, I don't know, man. They went into this case knowing that their possibilities were low, hence all the delays and other argument missteps. I think if their main goal was to buy time for whatever project or reason, they will inevitably go the distance if they can. Hoping I'm wrong though. That's just his opinion. I don't know, I feel like there is a lot on the line, and considering that, there are even cartoon bears that have been with us for years now, essentially alluding to this same point. The new financial system is going to be revamped. XRP is essentially the lifeblood to provide that liquidity. One of the things that I forgot to mention when I was talking about this Brad Garlinghouse interview as well was the fact that liquidity is key, and it might be problematic to source that liquidity from crypto in a traditional sense, but Ripple has been on it. They've been creating liquidity solutions like the new Liquidity Hub. On-demand liquidity is essentially one of those big products that they've been successfully scaling out for real-world large sum transactions. So will Ripple take it all the way to trial? Will they settle? Gary Gensler already saying that it sounds as though the SEC is not going to be winning every single case. And, think about it for a second. Are they likely going to lose the higher profile cases with big money behind them, i.e. the Ripple XRP lawsuit? Or are they willing to choke on the smaller cases with smaller companies like the Kick lawsuit, for example? The SEC is essentially an agency that is looking to shake down vulnerable players.
So enjoy your day, everybody. I'm always here for you. Leave any comments or questions below, and be sure to subscribe. But thanks, everybody. I really appreciate you. Enjoy your day, and I always have your back. So thanks so much, everybody.